There we go.
What's up, fellas?
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Coach?
All right.
Good evening from Manila.
Yeah. Good morning from Canada.
All right. All right. Well, good evening, basketball fans. Welcome to the first episode of Terrific Together, brought to you by East Asia Super League. My name is Banjo Albano, and I'm joined tonight with my co-host, Mikey Reyes.
Hey, what's up, Band? What's up, everyone? And we just want to thank you for tuning in to our very first episode. We are very, very excited for our guests tonight or today. Well, tonight here in Manila. But yeah, whether you're having breakfast or you're having dinner, it's just really great that you can join us and be entertained by a lot of stories from our two guests.
Yeah, our two guests tonight have special journeys. Just like any basketball hooper, whether it started at the park or on their driveway shooting hoops, but they took their dream and chased it, and the game has taken them globally all over the world.
Yeah, and the basketball world is really small if you think about it. And these two gentlemen have crossed paths for sure here in the basketball world, and I'm just really excited to get to know them.
Yeah, so without further ado, I'll introduce my first guest. I'm gonna have to read this list out because it's pretty long. All right. So he's the current head coach of Ala Pilipinas in the ABL, as well as the current assistant coach of the San Miguel Beermen in the PBA. He's a 6-time PBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP, the 2011 PBA MVP, as well as the best player of the conference. He's an 11-time PBA All-Star with 3-time first team mythical selection. He's 2003 PBA Rookie of the Year. He's the PBA's all-time leading three-point scorer. His jersey number 3 has been retired by the Talking Tex Catropa. He's also one of the PBA's 40 greatest players. The list goes on and on. Ladies and gentlemen,
you gotta catch your breath. Hey, what's up, Coach?
Hey, thank you guys for having me, man. It's great to be here and just to connect with the basketball community.
Well, it's always fun to talk basketball with you, and we'll get to that in a second. But our next guest is okay. I gotta read this also. 19th pick in the 2012 NBA draft, and there's a big reason why. He actually finished college at the NCAA Division I St. Bonaventure University, where he was the 2012 Associated Press Honorable Mention All-American, as well as the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year and a member of the All-Defensive Team. So that is the biggest reason why he was drafted 19th by the Orlando Magic in 2012. This was the Anthony Davis draft, just so y'all know. So he played 6 seasons in the NBA, 4 with Orlando, 1 with the Washington Wizards, and another with the Brooklyn Nets. So he played with a lot of superstars and a lot of great stories coming your way. In the 2018-2019 season, he led the Fujian Sturgeons with averages of 28 points a game, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. Crazy numbers from him. And in the 2019-2020 season, he suited up for the Guangzhou Long Lions, and he was one of the top-performing big men of the league. Please welcome Andrew Nicholson.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Or how you taught me, Mangadang Umaga, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Hey, Coach Jimmy, I taught him a little bit.
There it is.
Try that again.
I like
Umaga.
it. I like it.
Umaga, right?
There you go.
There we go.
It took Coach Jimmy a while.
I've been there many times, so I have to pick up some Tagalog.
Oh yeah, we're gonna ask
Awesome.
a lot about your Philippine experiences in the show.
Oh, the best. Oh my gosh.
Awesome. Well, let's jump right into it. Both of you guys were raised in North America. Both had different journeys and different paths. I'll start with Jimmy. Growing up in California, and your basketball journey started in San Bernardino. Could you give us a brief update and actually a rundown of how the game has started and has taken you so far?
Yeah, low-key, I think we lost Coach Jimmy. Oh, we can move on to Andrew first.
All right, let's work on Andrew. Yeah. So Andrew, yes. So you grew up in Mississauga, Ontario, in Canada. So
Yeah.
could you paint us that picture, so your fans could get a better understanding of your basketball roots?
Yeah, so I was born in Etobicoke, Toronto, just a sub-city outside Toronto, and I grew up most of my life in Mississauga. I actually lived in North Carolina for 4 years. I went from grades 7 to grade 9, and then I actually came back to Mississauga. I didn't really do much basketball in North Carolina, but primarily the sport I played growing up was baseball. So I didn't really take basketball serious until my 11th grade in high school because my dad always, like, we were Blue Jays fans. I always used to watch the Blue Jays a lot, so I thought originally I was going to be a baseball player. So I did 9 years of baseball, and then I started to grow. So as I grew, my strike zone grew, and I was terrible. Father Gates, he actually came up. She was like, "Hey, why don't you come try basketball? You might like it. You're tall, you have long arms, big hands." I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I went, I tried out. I was very raw. I could just block shots and dunk the ball. That was pretty much it. It wasn't shooting or doing anything. And then I just started to get better. Like I started to get a feel of my body because I had a big growth spurt, and I was about 6'8" in high school, and I could move. So being able to have those abilities enabled me to showcase a lot of my talent because we had a good team as well too. So a lot of coaches from the NCAA would come up. St. Bonaventure was one. They were really interested, and I saw it as an opportunity to get a free education because originally I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't know I was going to be a professional basketball player until maybe my third year of college. So I used that opportunity to get a free education. I was going to go to med school, but going to college, my degree was chemistry initially, and my first 2 years, chemistry was really tough because we were traveling. I didn't know the travel would be so hard. So I kind of went to like a lesser load to manage basketball and my education. So I went to physics. So I ended up graduating with physics at St. Bonaventure. We had a great run, in the NCAA. Won the the E10 tournament, and then was fortunate enough to get drafted by the Orlando Magic, and that's where I started my professional career.
Awesome, and we're gonna dig deep into that in a few minutes. We'll let Jimmy introduce his basketball roots, and we'll take it from there.
Oh man, well, Andrew, my story is probably the absolute complete opposite of yours.
I wasn't saying anything about the growth spurt.
Yeah, there weren't too many of those on my end. Growing up in a Filipino household in California, Filipinos just have a crazy love and passion for basketball, and our house was no different. Growing up the youngest of 6 kids, my 2 older brothers, they played in high school and in JUCO a little bit, so I was always around them growing up. But in high school, we were one of the bigger high schools back then. We had probably about 6,000 students, and my freshman year, I was the only freshman on the varsity team. Which, hey, you're back in high school, that's cool. But my freshman year of high school, I'm 4'9", 90 pounds. There was no sign of any growth spurt, at least not that early. And so, my dream was always to get an opportunity to play professionally, but back then it was a long ways away. And I was the kid in high school, at least my first 3 years of school, where I never played. I was on varsity as a freshman, but never played. And it even got to the point where I was the guy who was put in the game the last 20 seconds, whether you're up 20 or down 20. And so, the crazy part was, when you're that young, I'm thankful that I had a strong support system. My family was there supporting me and, helped me understand being that young, that if you really wanted to pursue this, then you better get to work, and you got a lot of catching up to do. And so I took the scenic route after my senior year. Had a great senior year in high school, but you know how it is back in the States. You know, you can't have one good season in high school and really be heavily recruited. So I went Division III. Great school, great people. Hated the basketball experience. It was awful. I mean, I was like, I got to get out of here. So then I went the JUCO route. Went junior college for a season, and I felt like that year helped me just kind of catch up physically. You know, I was in the weight room all the time, and just allowing my body to kind of catch up with my basketball IQ and my ability. And then finally ended up signing Division II at Cal State San Bernardino, and that really was the start of, you know, getting looks to come and play in Manila. And then, you know, it was an absolute blessing to get a chance to come back to Manila, having spent my whole life growing up in the States. You know, growing up in a Filipino household, we were in the States, and coming back to Manila allowed me not only to fulfill a childhood dream, but also really get to know, you know, where I come from. You know, with my parents. You know, they were born and raised here. So you know, it's been a blessing. You know, it's crazy that I've been here almost 20 years.
Wow.
It's a little different story than Andrew's.
That's amazing. You came back home to Manila to see your roots. That must have been so special. I can imagine.
Oh yeah.
No, for
Can you
sure.
imagine, like,
You know, because
So
you know,
special.
you hear so many stories. You hear stories from your parents about what it was like for them growing up here and growing up. But you know, I'm in California. I'm like, oh well, that's on the other side of the world. And you don't, you know, when you're young, you don't think about that stuff. But you know, for when I finally made the decision to come out here and play, man, I was just naive about life. You know, naive about, you know, just being an adult and being a professional. But it ended up being, you know, the biggest blessing in my life, because it allowed me to grow both as a player and just as a man.
oh yeah, for sure. But
It's beautiful.
let's just squeeze this in, because we're talking about the Philippines anyway. Let's talk about Andrew's connections. I mean, you've been to the Philippines. We know. I heard from Camille Clarin, who plays for the NU Lady Bulldogs over here, that he's familiar. She's familiar with you, and also Matthew Wright. Banj mentioned when we were talking off cam about you playing with Matthew Wright, and now he's a big superstar here in the Philippines. Talk about your love for the for the Philippines, and for Filipino food. I heard you love pancit canton.
Oh yes.
Pancit canton.
Oh, man. And calamansi. The calamansi drinks you got.
Calamansi.
Oh,
Calamansi drinks.
I love it. I
So
love it.
Mac, so you love the pancit canton at Max? Am I
Mac,
right?
Yeah.
Max fried chicken, and calamansi. That's great to know. We'll make sure though we'll bring you to Max if you visit anytime soon after this situation. But let's move on back to your college careers and your mindsets during college. Obviously different situations, because Coach Jimmy decided to stay close to home. You, Andrew, on the other hand, had to travel 450 miles from Ontario to New York. Let's talk about Jimmy first. How was it staying close to home? Were any other teams interested in you, and why did you choose that school in particular?
So after my junior college season, you know, that was actually when I got looks from almost all Division II schools. I actually had one Division I offer from Fairleigh Dickinson. Didn't know where it was. You know, I'm this young naive kid from California. And they basically said, you know, we're looking at you and another local guard here. But you know, we had spoken a few times with the coaching staff there, but you know, for me, I wasn't ready. You know, I wasn't ready to go, you know, far away from home, coming from a big family. And so when I took my recruiting visit to Cal State San Bernardino, you know, it was 15 minutes away. I had literally my entire family within 20 minutes of the school. And you know, just at that point in my life, having their support and actually seeing me play as a scholarship athlete and seeing how much that I had grown from when they saw me on the bench, for most of my high school time, was important to me. And it was a great experience because, we were fortunate to have a lot of success there. A lot of great people, some really great players. We had some Division I transfers and ended up going pretty far, while I was there. So, it all worked out. It all worked out. And that really gave me the platform to have a chance to go play overseas.
Well, it's always nice to have that strong support system behind you, especially if you're playing close to home. But how about you, Andrew? Again, traveling that far, 450 miles to play college. How was it? How was the transition, not only on the basketball court, but also off of it?
It actually wasn't as bad because St. Bonaventure was actually a drive away. So it was across the border. It'd take about 3.5, 4 hours to get there, but it's in like the middle of nowhere, like in New York. So part of the reasons why I picked there, because I grew up in the city. So I'm a big city boy. And then I'm going to this small town that's maybe like 12,000 people. And the school is like 1,500 kids, right? So it's like whole different experience for me. I can't go anywhere like to find like a bunch of places to eat. There's only like the cafeteria and stuff. So I mean, going to that school kind of enabled me to maintain focus because there was no distraction. So like I said, earlier in the show, my initial goal was to go to med school. So I was going to get my science degree, then go to med school right after. But my first 2 years, I started to get like really good at basketball, and my coach sat me down. It's like, hey, like you have a chance to be a pro, and he told me that a couple times. The first time I was like, nah, man, I'm just here just to get a degree and live my life and do whatever. He's like, no, seriously, like you can be like really, really good if you really put your mind and heart to it. And then after my second year, I just had an epiphany where I was like, you know what? I see myself going up the ladder and in the league and just being a better player. Why not try for it? Why not try to, play the sport that you love and, help provide for your friends and family and just live a great lifestyle. And you can always come back and do med school when you're done if you choose to. And after that, I started to do summer school sessions every summer so I can lessen the load during the school year. And so I came home maybe 2 weeks out of the year. Once summer school is over, I come home a week and go back for summer session 1 and 2. Then I go back to the regular season. And I just kept working and working. We would have 2 hours of class and then the whole day is off. And in that town, there's nothing to do. So I would literally go in the gym and I'd shoot thousands of hook shots. That's all I knew. I was just shooting hooks. left, right, thousands all summer session. And then after the next year, I shooted like thousands of threes. So I just had a lot of reps and enabled me to, have the touch and the range that I have now. And I'm just so happy I did that enabled me to, be a pro and play the sport that I love.
Well, obviously, all those hours in the gym paid off because you were obviously dominant in your junior and senior years. Your first team All Atlantic and All Defensive in both those years. Now, talk about the transition or the lead up to the NBA draft. How was that preparation different from your preparing for college, preparing when you're in college, and preparing for the draft?
Yeah. So when I was preparing for the draft, I remember it was my senior year, and my agent was like, we have to fly out to these teams, and I was like, but I still have, all these courses I had to take. I was taking some crazy courses at that time too. I was doing thermodynamics 2, quantum mechanics 1. I was like, oh my God. I was like, if I miss, yeah. And it's hard. It's hard. And I'm like, if I miss class, I'm going to feel like I'm a week behind. So because I was always like in class, I was always, early asking the professors questions. I developed that relationship with them where I could tell them like, hey, I have this opportunity to start my professional career basketball. Is it okay if I, miss this week of class so I can fly out to the different teams, work out, come back? You can email me like what I have to do, all the research, and I'll do my homework on the road. And they were fine with that. They're like, we wish you luck. Just stay focused on class and remember what you're in college for. And I was like, okay. So I would go. My friend would drive me. The closest airport was like 2 hours away. So my friend would drive me 5 a.m. I'd fly to, remember my first workout was the Celtics, so I fly to Boston, work out there. So the workout was about maybe like 2 hours in the morning, and once I'm done, I'm back in the hotel doing my work. Then the next day, I think I had to fly to, actually Oklahoma City is my second workout. So I go, fly to OKC, I'm doing work on the plane, I land, meet with the GMs, whatever, work out the next day. Then I go fly to another city. I fly to Orlando. Orlando was my third one. I had 13 workouts in total, so I'll keep it short.
Wow.
So after Orlando, I remember I fly back to school, go back to school for 4 days, and then my guy would pick me up after the 4 days over, take me to the airport again. So I was just bouncing around, working out, and just it was nuts. It was real because
that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a student athlete. But
absolutely,
obviously, you made it to the pros. But let's go back to Coach Jimmy. Coach Jimmy, I've heard this story a couple of times, but it's always fun to hear about it again. Talk about eventually being invited to the national team, and breaking your wrist right before the Asian Games. I've heard it a couple of times, but it's always fun to talk about it.
Yeah, and by the way, Andrew, man, stories like you're telling, man, as a former player and just as a basketball fan, hey, man, I can listen to that stuff all day, man. It's awesome to hear like that behind the scenes stuff because people would never think, all right, hey, you're preparing for the draft, and behind the scenes you're doing quantum physics, on the plane, so
it was hard.
I mean, that's awesome.
I appreciate that.
That's awesome, man. So when I finished at Cal State, I got some interest from teams and some coaches here in the Philippines, and after going through the whole eligibility process, I got invited to not only be in the draft in 2002, but also train with the national team because they were preparing for the Asian Games later that year. And so, long story short, there were some issues here at the time, so I didn't get into the draft. So, I didn't know what was going to happen. I'd already been out of school. I was just kind of working, odd jobs just to kind of earn some money, waiting to see what opportunities would open up. And then I don't get into the draft, and I'm thinking I have to wait another year. But I get invited to go and train with the national team. And I had been training for probably about 4 or 5 months before I came, so I was ready. So I went to the national team tryouts. I ended up making the team, and I was the only amateur on an all-pro team. So I was here for about 5 months, and the thing was they weren't allowing me to play because I still wasn't cleared. So I'm just practicing with these guys every day, and I was performing well. And it had gotten to the point where, I wasn't making any money. And I was just like, you know what, I don't see this ending anytime soon. And so I met with the staff, thanked them for the opportunity, and I said, hey, listen, I'll go back to the States. I'll just keep working out, and I'll come back for the draft in 2003. That same week, I got cleared to play. So I went from the mindset of, hey, I'm going home, I got to go find a job or do something, to now I'm playing the national team. And so we go out of town. We go outside of Manila about 3 hours to a city called Bataan. And I'll never forget, we're preparing for the game. The coach is going over the lineup, and he's like, hey, Jim, you're starting. So you have a 23-year-old kid, play, an amateur still at the time. And now I'm playing on the national team with all these veteran guys who, had all had, huge success here in the PBA. And I'm starting. And first 5 minutes of the game, I break my hand. I was actually trying to, I was trying to like swim over a screen. My hand got caught in the imports jersey. He ran that way, I ran this way, and the funny part was, again, I waited like 4.5 months for this opportunity. That same possession, I grabbed the rebound, dribble down the court, get to the rim, and get fouled. And then when the referee hands me the ball to shoot the free throw, I'm like, man, I can't feel my hand. And till this day, this is like 18 years later, I don't know how I made one of those free throws. It was pure. it was pure adrenaline. And that was that was the beginning of the end, at least from my first experience here, because I was out about 6 weeks. The team had to make cuts, and the morning after that game, again, I was the only amateur on the team, so the media here hammered me pretty well, just saying that hey, he's too small, he can't handle the physicality, and it was the first time I'd ever had a major injury. But
Right.
when it happens, you just gotta kind of put your foot in your mouth, and you just kind of take whatever criticism comes along with it. And at the end of the day, I got hurt, and so that was just more motivation when I went back to the States. Played in the NBA Summer League at Long Beach State. Andrew, if you remember that at the time when it was at the Pyramid,
Which
at Long Beach State, when they used to have the NBA Summer League before it moved to Vegas, they used to have it at Long Beach State.
was it really then? Honestly, before then, like I never really followed basketball that much until like recently, like in college and stuff. So I didn't know they had it in Long Beach. I thought
it was at Long Beach State for a long time before they moved it to Vegas.
Oh wow!
So I went back, played in the summer league there, and then just started training. And I came back and got drafted in 2003, and 14 years later, I was able to carve out my pro career, and it was a dream come true.
Sure.
Awesome.
That's
Speaking of
determination, man. Like you actually made those free throws after your hand is like that.
That's tougher than making free throws when your Achilles is torn. That's tougher. That's tougher. That's the risk.
So you got your hand caught,
and that's called. Yeah, it was my right ring finger.
Oh my god!
Broken. Like I broke a bone. But hey man, when you're young and you're excited and that adrenaline's kicking in,
yeah.
I was able to throw one at the rim and it went in. So
yeah. That's impressive.
Not an ideal debut though, for sure.
Right.
Well, speaking of summer league, Andrew, you spoke about the hard work that you put in to prepare for the NBA, and then you get invited. You obviously get drafted, and your first game in the NBA summer league, you dropped 24 and 12. How did take us back? How did you feel that you were ready for the big show and making that big jump?
Yeah, I think I was, because like once I got drafted, Orlando called me. It was like, we need you here next week, and I wasn't like accustomed to that. I was like, okay, fine, let's go, I'm ready. So I go there, we do the first with the weight session and stuff. Prior to that, I wasn't really a big weight room guy. Before that, I just did it just to do it. But once I got to the pros, I actually started to like fall in love with it and realize that the weight room is what keeps you from being injured. And knock on wood, the worst injury I've ever had was maybe a twisted ankle. That's it. Because being in Orlando, I had a great strength coach who I had a great relationship with. He taught me about stuff like the weight room, you should live here because this is what's going to increase the longevity of you playing. So I did a lot of that. The workouts, we had a couple of vets there as well too to show me the ropes. I was just super excited. But going into summer league, I think a lot of people really underestimated me because of the way I moved and the way I looked. They probably thought I was just some long, gangly, awkward kid and like, oh, he's not going to do anything, whatever. But then I go out there and I have this, this old school game, and I just kind of like caught them by surprise. I was like, yeah, like I'm here. They picked me here for a reason. So that first game, I just had something to prove.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then that work that you put in the weight room, like you said, you became a pro, and that the early season work as well gave you an invite to the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
So you were part of that rookie. Yeah, talk to us about that. You were part of the rookie challenge.
That was an experience I will never forget. It was amazing. Just being able to be on that stage and see like all the other all-stars just around you. I was starstruck. I was. I remember walking around. LeBron's there, Kobe's there, Shaq's there, the White's there. All you just see everybody, and then they're watching your rookie all-star game. You're around your fellow classmates, draft mates, I should say. And just being in that environment was just so surreal.
Awesome. Awesome.
For that.
Yeah,
I actually
that's
still have the
crazy.
ball. Actually have a ball in there that we all signed, and I still have it to this day. The 2012.
This is 2012, right? So this was Blake Griffin, Kyrie. Am I right?
Blake was the year before. Kyrie was a sophomore, and I was the rookie.
Oh, so 2013.
Yeah. So we had 8.
Oh, here. So Anthony Davis. So you
Yeah.
were in with Anthony Davis, Kenneth
Kyrie,
Faried, Bradley
yeah.
Beal, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Then you were up against Dame. So you played for Team Chuck.
Team Chuck, yeah.
Team Chuck. So wait. Before we move on, how was it playing for Team Chuck? I mean, how's Charles Barkley in the dugout, in the locker room?
Barkley was great. I mean, we usually saw him like just before the game. He'd show up to like our practice just for a little bit, but I mean, he was a cool guy. You know, he said give us a few words of encouragement, and he basically go out there and have fun. Like, you guys are here for an all-star game. You know, just don't be nervous. You're here for a reason. So have a great time.
Yeah, that was fun.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic, man. That was great. That was a great weekend. We really enjoyed it.
Awesome. So moving along, you put your time in NBA, and you get a call to take your game out over to Asia, right? And how was that transition? Moving to a different country, different experience.
The transition was at first it was difficult because China is completely different living style than what it is over here. And it took me a little bit just to get adjusted to that. So once I first got there, it was actually a really humbling experience because, prior to that, I did numerous years in the NBA. So I come here to China and, practice is over. I have my shoes and my jersey. And I'm like, so I go to my translator. I'm like, so where do we put my shoes and my jersey to get washed and carried? He looks at me. He starts laughing. I'm like, what? It's so funny? He's like, you have to wash it. You have to carry it. I was like, are you serious? I'm like, well, what if I lose it? He's like, well, if you lose it, then you don't have shoes, you don't have a jersey. So
oh, he's used to the NBA life.
Yeah, we're used to this. When we're done, we drop it off and we go about our business. When we come back, it's already there. And so then I'm like, so what about food? He's like, well, we have this local cuisine round table that they usually do, and it's food I haven't actually really had. So the first time I went, I tried it. It wasn't really my favorite. Like, I love Chinese food, but the Chinese food here is a lot different than what it is in China. So it took me a while to kind of get adjusted to that. So like those first 2 months, I didn't really eat much because I didn't really know where all like the Western restaurants were. So I remember one day I was just sitting in my room. I was like, you know what? There's 2 ways this can go. You can sit here, you can pout, you can be like, I just want to go back home, or you could grab the horse by the reins and just embrace it. I started to embrace the culture. And then I remember going to practice that next day. I was just super positive. You know what? I'm going to try that food. Why not? And I ended up liking it.
Awesome.
So like shumai, dim sum, all that stuff. I had it here. I tried their version of it. It was amazing. And then I started to talk to my teammates a lot more. Like, hey, can you teach me some words in in Mandarin? And I go to my translator, like, you teach me some words in Mandarin so I can, learn how to get around as opposed to just calling you for everything. So I ended up picking up on the language, being there 3 years, I can speak a little Mandarin now to basically survive. And just like the whole basketball is different too, because, the whole aspect for imports, like they want you to score. So you just got to go out there, put the ball in the basket. That's it. And I was like, okay, I can do that. But you have to do it consistently every night. Otherwise,
Yep.
That's another challenge. So we just went, continued to work on my game. I use it as a way to expand my game and to learn myself as a player. So I learned stuff that I was, lacking deficiently and stuff I was really good at. So I would practice, translate it, put it in the game, try it out. I'm like, hey, I can do that. No problem. So it kind of gave me back that confidence to how you had in college to just be the man, go out there and perform. And after my first year, I was like, you know what? I really like that experience.
And it obviously started with embracing the culture. But quickly before we move on to a couple challenges in games, just to see your competitive side. Let's just talk about first Jimmy's, or quickly run through Jimmy's first PBA season, winning a title with Talk and Text, winning Rookie of the Year. This guy who was supposed to be too small for the pros averaged 14, 7, and 7. 7 rebounds as a point guard in his rookie season. How was it winning a championship on that first stint with Talk and Text?
No, I mean, it was great because, coming off of the year before where I got hurt, that's why I ended up getting picked last in the first round of the draft, because every single team passed up on me because all they remembered was I got hurt. And, rightfully so, I guess, but it was just added motivation for me to show that, listen, what happened last season was, last year was a fluke, and you guys will see what happens now that I'm back. And, I kept that chip on my shoulder and, carried it through, from the start of my career all the way through to the 14 years. But, winning that championship that first season, kind of validated that I could play, and that I could, that I could play in the league, because, when you're 5'9", 170 pounds, you're not very physically imposing, but there's still different ways that, yeah, absolutely, and I could jump higher back then, but by winning that first season, it really just kind of set my career off, and even for myself, it gave me confidence that, all the work that I'd put in, was worth it. And I just had to continue to improve and keep growing as a player. But, that first year here in the Philippines, set the course for the rest of my career.
Well, it was Alapag range before it was Curry range. So that helped also.
I'm not gonna be. I wasn't gonna be in the paint shooting jump hooks like Andrew. So you gotta adjust your game.
Yeah.
He used to shoot like right after half court.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, let's play a little game.
When you're not 6 feet, man, you don't have no choice.
Yeah.
Well, you find success in what you do best, and you both of you guys have put in a lot of work. Obviously, Andrew, from understanding that, hey, a little hook left and right in the paint, extending your range, and of course with Jimmy, understanding his speed and his range are going to be his weapons. And both of you have had great careers. Andrew, I know you'll still continue to pursue more greatness, and with Jimmy now it's on the coaching side. That challenge you, both of you guys, again, pursuing this basketball dreams of yours.
Who knows? Maybe our paths will cross down the line. You never know.
Never know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I think at this point we're gonna get into the competitive side. Put all the friendship aside, and we have a couple of challenges for both of you guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a push-up challenge. As well as a little ball handling figure 8 challenge. So, if we can, let's get this thing started.
Okay.
A push-up challenge. Let's go.
Let me get set up here. Which one are we doing first?
Let me introduce you to Holly. So
you're repping Coach Chappie, by the way. So
yeah,
I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna let Coach Chappie know.
Hey, do coaches get like +5 since I don't play anymore?
we're gonna do push-ups. Yeah.
Let's go do push-ups. Let's go.
All right.
No warm up. No warm up.
Here's my core gym. Since all the
look at this.
That's home gym. Home gym.
Oh boy. Okay. Get the mat down here. Actually, is it better on this angle? That's probably the light's going this way, right? Yeah. Oh boy.
Right, the most we can do.
Is it time?
Yeah, so we're gonna do 30 seconds.
30
We're
seconds.
gonna do 30 seconds. Okay, you guys are gonna have to count it out on your own.
Oh, my arms are
all right.
Okay.
And then I'll I'm gonna
All right,
I'm
here
gonna
we go.
I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, then go. All right.
All right. Is it chest to the ground or which one's
No sissy push-ups.
Yeah. Grown men push up. Grown men push up.
Grown men push-ups.
All right, ready? 3,
All right, we're all grown
2,
here. We're all grown
1, go.
1, 2,
nine?
Go.
11, 12,
Andrew's about to work out after this. Coach Jimmy's about to get to sleep. Come on.
18, 19, 20,
10
1,
seconds.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
5,
9,
4,
20, 1,
3, 2, 1.
4,
Stop.
5.
I got 23.
23. Coach Jimmy, we're really not going to talk about a comeback? Nowhere near a comeback? No?
Oh no chance. No chance. No chance. 34.
34.
Boy, there you go.
Damn.
Okay.
Coach Jimmy in shape.
Do I go? Here, let me put the.
Hey,
Are we?
it's anti-aging workouts nowadays.
Yeah.
It's not really preparing for anything. It's maintaining, huh?
Hey
got a long way
man,
to go.
I gotta be able to take my kids to the pool, man.
It's a lot of work.
All right. What's next? Between the legs challenge.
Yes.
Okay.
The next one, just gonna do a figure 8 between the legs. Anything? Grab a basketball.
Let me grab the ball.
There you
Oh,
go.
we're gonna see Andrew's versatility with this.
Yeah. Andrew, we're making you get to work.
Yep. All those workouts with John Wall. We're gonna see it right now.
Ian.
Oh, here it is.
Hey. You know,
The babies are still awake.
Yeah.
of course, family affair.
Okay, so let me put this here.
There you go. This is 30 seconds again.
Yeah. So again, this is just
30
going between the legs. We're not bouncing the ball. We're just going stationary figure 8.
Oh, you're gonna kill me on this one.
Oh, no. We're just going between
Like this?
stationary. Yeah.
Yep.
Just going right.
Which one? Just like this?
Yes.
Yeah. We don't want to
Yeah,
break
well,
anything.
We
don't want to cause no turnovers. No turnovers for this one, please.
All right.
So we're
Same
just
thing.
going here.
Yeah. So
Yep,
that's one
yep.
cycle. Yep. So left to right is one
Okay,
cycle.
okay.
Count it out. Same thing,
I
right?
got you.
Yeah.
3, 2,
All right.
1, go.
1, 2,
9,
4, 5, 6, 7,
Let's go.
8,
3,
9,
Ian, if you think this is fast, he was way faster.
1.
14,
Andrew got the rhythm going.
15, 16,
Andrew got it.
17, 18,
5,
19,
4,
20,
3,
1,
2, 1.
2,
Stop.
3, 4.
John Wall right there. The John Wall work.
So I did 57.
Hey, that's that.
1, 2, 3. So is this one?
That's that
That was one.
wingspan.
Yeah, you both win. You both win on this. You both win. Good job. I mean, Andrew's played with a lot of great point guards too.
Yeah.
Andrew's a lot of great point guards.
I don't think I'll ever be one though.
Well, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
Sweat going.
At least.
All right, I think
Andrew, we got you warmed up for your day, and Coach Jimmy,
he's gonna take a shower.
Hey man, it's some late night cardio, man. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's 9:53 here in the Philippines, and we're making Coach Jimmy do between the legs. Good job, Coach. Good job,
Hey,
Coach.
it's all right, man.
That was good.
Hey, when you have kids, you work out any time of day.
Yeah.
All right, just quickly, just to go just to get to know you guys a little bit better, we have rapid fire questions for you two. We'll start with Coach Jimmy. Start with Coach Jimmy. Just answer as quick as you can. Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
You good? You catch your breath first. You good?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go, Coach.
I'm good.
All right, checks or stripes? Checks or stripes, Coach?
Checks.
Oh, definitely. Day. Fire or ice?
Checks all day.
Fire or ice? Instagram or Facebook?
Fire.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Cardio or weights? Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Oh, okay. Bagels or toast?
I'm sorry?
Bagels or toast? Bagels or toast? Toast. Night or day?
Toast.
Night or day?
Day.
Pizza or burgers? I know you can enjoy them now. Pizza or burgers?
I gotta go pizza.
Rain or snow? If you actually miss the snow.
Ooh, snow.
Cars or trucks?
Cars.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone, baby.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You go on Netflix more or YouTube?
Ooh,
Netflix.
that's a good
Netflix.
Netflix.
That's a good one.
X-Men or Avengers?
Ooh. I'm going X-Men.
X-Men. You'd rather get a call or a text?
Call.
You'd rather get a call or a text? Call. Cats or dogs?
Call.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Coffee or milk? Coffee or milk tea?
Oh man, can I go neither?
Alap is on that milk tea train, though. Alap is on that milk tea train.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I don't drink either.
T-shirts or hoodies?
T-shirt.
Friends or How I Met Your Mother?
Oh, I gotta go Friends.
Friends. OG. Long flights or long drives? Oh, you hate long flights.
Yeah, I'm going long drives.
Fruits or veggies?
Fruit.
All right. This is about to be funny. Night out or you rather sleep in?
Oh man, nowadays, man, sleep in.
I knew it. All right, just quickly. Favorite TV series? Favorite TV series on Netflix?
Oh, favorite. Oh man, you know when you have kids, man, you don't watch TV much. I don't watch TV much anymore. I'll just say, I'll go with The Last Dance. That's the last thing that I saw.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
If you were to go on a vacation today, where? Hawaii. Favorite restaurant?
Yep.
Favorite restaurant? Oh, comfort food.
Cheesecake Factory.
Yep.
Comfort food.
Ice cream.
Cheat meal.
Ice cream. Cheat meal.
Favorite
Pizza.
Yeah. Oh. Favorite city? Last.
Favorite city? Miami.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Manila. Come on. I'm playing.
Nice.
Yeah, that's Coach Jimmy.
Good stuff, Jimmy. All right, so we're gonna swing it right over.
Manila's too easy, man.
Yeah. I was gonna ask celebrity crush, but you were probably gonna say LJ Moreno, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Don't get me killed.
You're gonna say LJ Moreno. I know you were gonna say LJ Moreno. So it's all good. It's all good.
I'm gonna swing it over to you, Andrew. All right. I know you kind of heard earlier, but let's get your input on this, right? So checks over stripes. Checks or stripes.
So what does that pertain to? Like It's wearing
Nike, basically Nike,
Nike or Adidas.
Nike for sure. Checks.
All right, fire or ice,
Fire.
Instagram or Facebook,
Instagram for sure.
cardio or weights,
Weights. 100%.
bagels or toast.
I like toast. There's a little bit burnt, just a little burnt, so a little butter on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Night or day,
Daytime right now.
pizza or burgers,
Ooh, man. You know what? I'm gonna go with pizza. I'm gonna go with pizza.
Xbox or PS4.
Xbox.
Oh, come on. Coach Jimmy's on that PS4 train, though. Coach Jimmy PS4.
Oh, I'm all Xbox, man.
Fast cars or big trucks.
I'm gonna have to say big trucks because I can't really drive fast cars. I can't fit in any of them.
True. X-Men or Avengers.
Avengers.
Netflix or YouTube.
Okay, that's a good one. Damn.
YouTube.
I might swing to the YouTube side because honestly, I like short. Like they're right here. They're right here.
Highlights.
A little bit.
How
Yeah.
about the highlights?
Yeah. I learned a lot of stuff from YouTube as well too. Yeah.
Cool. Cats or dogs.
You know what? I love cats. I had a cat for 15 years. He was a big Maine Coon, big friendly one.
Oh, wow.
I love cats.
All right. T-shirts or hoodies.
T-shirt.
Long flights or long drives.
I'm going to say long flights because usually long flights, the destination is crazy. If I'm flying somewhere long, the destination is going to be,
The beach or the mountains.
Oh, the beach, 100%.
Nights out or sleep in.
Oh, nothing's like sleeping in. There's no better feeling. Night out's fun, but sleeping in, man, like when you get a day off, oh my gosh, that's the best sleep.
I got a quick question. My bad. Do you actually sleep in when you go on the road during your rookie season and sophomore year, or do you go out every city?
Did I sleep in and stuff?
Yeah, when you're on the road.
Oh, like for a game?
Yeah.
No, for a game, no. There's no sleeping in. So if you wanted to have a night out, you'd have to, wake up, have some coffee, have some tea or something. But there's no sleeping in. The only time you get sleep in is when you hear the word off day. That's it.
So we'll close it out. Your favorite TV series?
Favorite TV series? I actually loved Gotham. I don't know if you guys saw Gotham.
Oh, Gotham was nice. Gotham was nice.
Great, man.
Favorite vacation spot?
I'm going to go with Boracay, man.
Boracay, let's go.
Hey.
That was our favorite. We stayed at the Shangri-La there.
Ooh,
Shangri-La.
beautiful place.
It was so good. The best we've been on.
Favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant?
Max.
I love Max. But there's this place in Portland where my fiance is from. It's called Ox. The best ribeye I've had in my life.
Ooh, we're gonna check that out.
Yeah, the best I've had in my life, man.
Favorite comfort food?
Oxtail.
Ooh, I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it. Favorite cheat meal?
Favorite cheat meal? Right now, my buddy owns a pizza shop, so it's gonna be pizza.
Awesome.
Yeah, I go there once a week.
What's the name of the spot?
3 for 1.
All right, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
And your favorite city?
My favorite city that I've been to, other than Toronto, where I'm from, Tokyo. We went to Tokyo last.
Tokyo.
Blew
Nice.
Blew our minds.
Tokyo's nice.
Blew my mind.
Awesome.
It's fun to get to know you too.
Yeah, this is great. Here with East Asia Super League, terrific together. This is what we're all about. Bringing basketball and cultures together and celebrating this game that we all love. So yeah, we really want to thank you. Coach Jimmy, Andrew. For any parting words, we'll start with Andrew to your fans here in East Asia Super League.
Oh, it's just a pleasure to have me. I hope we can definitely, do this again so I can, get to know everybody. And this is fun. Just sitting down, chilling, PBA legend right here. It's an honor. Just being able to, just chop it up with you guys, man.
Thank you, man.
Awesome, Andrew. We'll get the gamers out for you. Set up that
Oh,
tournament.
Oh yeah. Oh, we gotta get on. We gotta get on.
I'm gonna type in my Activision tag. Add me anytime.
Oh, I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna add you for sure.
All right.
I think Coach Jimmy's playing COD.
I am nasty at COD, and I'm gonna put it out there.
All right. Well, you'll definitely get the invite to our East Asia Super League, Call of Duty tournament.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or whatever it is we have soon.
Yeah. I'm there.
Coach Jimmy.
Just want to thank you guys for having me, man. It's always it's always great to connect with guys like Andrew, across the world and a part of the basketball community. Having played for a long time and now coaching and still being involved in the game, man, it's I'm thankful. So I'm thankful to be a part of the East Asia Super League. And Andrew, man, it's a pleasure getting to know you, at least virtually for now, until we cross paths in the future. And of course, Mikey and Ben, man, you guys, it's all love with you guys, man. So thank you guys again for having me, and hopefully we'll get the game back soon.
Awesome.
Sure.
Again, thank you guys for joining us. Everybody be safe, take care of your loved ones. And we're really looking forward to getting you guys back on the court.
Yep. See you on the next episode of Terrific Together.
For sure. Appreciate it.
All right. I'm
Thanks,
Daniel
guys.
Dano.
All right, Andrew.
Andrew,
Take it easy, man.
Good
Good luck to you.
See you guys.
All right.
Peace, guys.
See you guys.